He wouldn't write books. He'd rewrite destinies. If Niccolo Machiavelli lived today, you wouldn't see his face on social media. You wouldn't hear his voice in interviews, but you'd feel his influence in every decision made by the powerful. While the world scrolls tweets and shouts into the void, he would sit quietly behind the curtain, not building a brand, not chasing likes, but pulling strings so precisely, you'd mistake it for fate. Because in a world obsessed with being seen, the deadliest strategy is to disappear. And that's what this is, a doctrine of modern invisibility. 21. Psychological rules for absolute influence based not on theory, but on what Machiavelli would do if he walked among us now. This isn't about motivation. It's about manipulation. Not how to be liked, but how to be obeyed. Rule 1. Always let them underestimate you. Machiavelli understood a profound truth. Power is safest when it is hidden. Think about it. Our world is a frantic race to prove ourselves, to flash our credentials, to shout our accomplishments, to be the loudest voice in the room. But the Machiavellian mind would never make a loud entrance. He would arrive last. He would observe first. He would speak only when no one expects it, and say the one thing no one else dared to. And just like that, he would command the room without anyone realizing he was in control. Until it was far too late. Let them label you as quiet. Let them mistake your stillness for weakness. Let them think you are harmless. Because when an opponent believes you pose no threat, they lower their guard and expose their vulnerabilities. And that is the very moment you strike from a position of power they never even knew existed. Rule 2. Charm is more dangerous than truth. In our hyper-connected, image-obsessed society, the hard truth rarely travels far. But perception spreads like wildfire. Machiavelli knew this intimately. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. So he wouldn't waste a single moment proving his integrity. He would invest all his energy into building an irresistible illusion. He'd be the one smiling warmly in the boardroom while planting subtle seeds of misdirection. He would disarm his enemies with charm, feeding their egos with false confidence until they were rendered powerless by their own affection for him. This is the art. It's not about being good. It's about being believed to be good. You don't need to be honest. You need to be persuasive. Never correct how people see you. Instead, exploit it. Let them crown you the hero while you quietly, methodically rewrite their ending. Rule 3. Create ambiguity on purpose. Most people live in a desperate fight to be understood. The Machiavellian mind would do the exact opposite. He would master the art of being a human enigma. One day, he's cold and distant. The next, surprisingly generous. Sometimes silent, other times intense. Not because he is confused, but because they are. Confusion creates obsession. Obsession creates focus. And that focus grants you influence. When people cannot define you, they are forced to study you. They dissect your every word. They overanalyze your silence. They begin to orbit your ambiguity, desperately trying to solve a puzzle they can never control. And that's the power. You are no longer just a person. You are a riddle. And riddles become fixations. As Machiavelli would say, the people you control the most are the ones who think about you the most. So stop over-explaining. Stop clarifying your every move. Leave gaps. Speak in riddles. And when they ask a question you refuse to answer, simply smile. Because confusion breeds curiosity, and curiosity becomes gravitational. Rule 4. Control what they see. Hide what you do. In a world where every move is broadcast for likes, Machiavelli would operate in the shadows. Everyone else is building a personal brand, posting their progress, sharing their strategy, showing their receipts. But the moment people see how you move, they begin to plan their counter-moves. They form alliances against you. They build narratives to undermine you. So what would Machiavelli do? He would keep his results public, but his methods secret. He would appear transparent, while his true machinery remained completely hidden. As he wrote, "A prince must be prepared to act against loyalty, charity, and religion to preserve the state." The modern translation, "Appear noble, but move ruthlessly. Never reveal your strategies. Never explain your systems. Don't tell them what you're building until it's already built. Let them think you're resting. Let them think you're slow. And then glide past them with a silence they were never prepared for. Control the feed, but guard the factory." Rule 5. Build a mask, then let it fracture. Machiavelli understood a psychological secret every great manipulator now uses. Perfection is forgettable, but a single well-placed flaw is addictive. First, you build the mask. You become the image of confidence, intelligence, and unshakable calm. But then, just once you let it crack, you reveal a controlled imperfection, a single sharp word, a calculated moment of vulnerability, a sudden flash of insight that proves you are far deeper and more complex than they ever imagined. Why does this work? Because we don't obsess over what we understand. We obsess over what feels just out of reach. Give them 90% of the story and then go silent. They will chase that missing 10% for years. Be the light, and then for a brief moment, flash the darkness. Let them glimpse the abyss, then close the curtain. You will become unforgettable, not because they loved your mask, but because they saw it slip. And now they are consumed with needing to know what lies behind it. Rule 6. Always say less than necessary. When people talk too much, they bleed power. They reveal their need for validation, their fear of being misunderstood, their emotional weakness. But the one who speaks with chilling precision and stops before they explain too much dominates any room. Machiavelli didn't speak to be understood. He spoke to create distance. He used words like scalpels, not blankets. In a high-stakes negotiation or a moment of tension, he would offer one, maybe two sentences, and then he would let the silence do the heavy lifting. That silence is where the fear begins. Their minds race. What does he know? Why isn't he reacting? What is he planning? You've said almost nothing yet. They have written an entire novel of fear in their heads, casting you as the villain. They can't outmaneuver. In positions of power, say exactly enough not to impress, but to control the rhythm of thought. Then stop. Let them lean in. Let them guess. Let them sweat. Because true mystery is forged in the space between words. Rule 7. Blur. The line between threat and ally. Today, people are obsessed with labels: who's on my team, who's against me, who is safe. Machiavelli would never grant them that certainty. He would dine with his enemies, compliment his rivals in public, and even defend the very people he planned to silently remove. Why? Because when people think you're dangerous, they prepare for war. But when they think you're neutral, or even an ally, they sleep. And the best time to make your move is when your opponent is fast asleep. As he taught, the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. You must be both. Complement your rival's idea right before you outmaneuver them. Agree with a critic just before you replace them. Appear passive and supportive until the very moment you move. By then, it will be too late for them to stop you. Rule 8. Make them feel safe right before you take power. The easiest way to remove an opponent isn't to fight them. It's to make them believe you are their most ardent supporter. Machiavelli would study your patterns, praise your ideas, and mimic your language. He would never make you feel like you were losing. He would make you feel like you were guiding him. And once that trust is absolute, once you feel completely safe, he would act. Decisively, cleanly, and without emotion. By the time the sting of betrayal hits you, he's already sitting in your chair. As he noted, men are so simple that a deceiver will never lack victims. Tell them what they need to hear. Show them what they want to see. And then, while smiling, take what they never imagined you had the courage to touch. Rule 9. Make people dependent. Then remove yourself. To truly dominate someone, Machiavelli wouldn't threaten them. He would help them. He would solve a problem no one else could provide, a stability they hadn't earned, and become utterly irreplaceable, all without ever asking for recognition. And then, just when their dependence is total, he would withdraw. Not with anger or revenge, just a quiet, sudden absence. Why? Because nothing destroys a person faster than losing something they've become addicted to. The void you leave behind becomes a weapon. You become their necessary illusion, the person they thought they didn't need until they lost you. They won't just hate you. They'll hate how much they need you, and they will spend the rest of their lives trying to fill the space you left behind. Rule 10. Weaponize the favor. Most people offer help to be liked. A Machiavellian offers help to create leverage. If he gave you something, he would never let you forget it. He wouldn't collect the debt with force, but with presence. The unspoken obligation would hang in the air, creating a psychological imbalance that you feel constantly. He offers you a solution, an advantage. Then he pulls back. He asks for nothing. He just lets the debt ache in your conscience until you start repaying it with loyalty, with information, with submission. Favors, when used with patience, become psychological chains, and the longer they go unacknowledged, the heavier they feel. Rule 11. Forge loyalty by letting them betray others for you. People think loyalty is earned through kindness. It's not. Machiavelli knew the strongest loyalty is forged in shared guilt. You don't force betrayal. You simply create the opportunity for it. You let them tell you a secret they shouldn't. You let them break a small rule for your benefit. You listen as they criticize someone else to win your approval. You never ask. You never pressure. You just leave the door to compromise slightly ajar, and they walk through it themselves. Now they are tied to you not by admiration, but by complicity. People protect the things they've compromised for. By betraying others in your direction, they are investing in you. And the more they invest, the more they can't afford to lose you. That's how you create allies, not through charisma, but through entanglement. Rule 12. Break alliances from the inside out. Machiavelli wouldn't confront a powerful group. He would dismantle it through erosion. He wouldn't attack the alliance. He'd infiltrate it. He'd plant subtle seeds of doubt, whispering questions that fester. I heard he said something about you. Have you noticed she never really defends you in meetings? I'm not saying anything, just watch how they act. That's all it takes. You don't need to destroy the alliance. You just make them destroy it themselves. Let their own fear of betrayal do the work for you. Because once trust is broken within a group, the entire structure collapses from the inside without you ever having to land a single blow. Rule 13. Gently reflect their insecurities back at them. If you want someone to obey you without them even realizing, it make them feel seen, but only in the ways that confirm their deepest self-doubts. You don't do this with insults, but with soft, carefully timed observations. You're so brave, especially for someone who isn't used to the spotlight. You always manage to pull through even when people don't take you seriously at first. These statements trigger agreement from a place of pain. You've anchored yourself as the one who truly gets them. From that moment on, they attach to you. They defer to you. They begin to move under your emotional gravity, seeking your approval, because you see the struggle they believe is hidden from the world. Rule 14. Never be the one holding the knife. In every ruthless decision, every necessary removal, Machiavelli had one golden rule: let others do the dirty work. He would orchestrate the outcome, whisper the idea, and influence the decision, but his hands would always appear clean. When a rival needed to be removed, he'd let them self-destruct with just enough provocation. When chaos was required, he'd feed information to both sides and then step back to watch the fire ignite. Why? If you're seen as the executioner, you create enemies. But if you're seen as the inevitable logical alternative after someone else fails, you gain followers. This is the Machiavellian masterpiece, the illusion of clean hands. You controlled everything, but no one can prove it. Rule 15. Say nothing and let them reveal everything. In any room, the most powerful person is rarely the loudest. It's the one who says nothing and observes everything. Silence is a weapon disguised as passivity. Imagine Machiavelli in our world of non-stop podcasts and digital rants. He would win by becoming the one person who doesn't broadcast. Someone insults you. Say nothing. They ask for your opinion, smile, and let them keep talking. That silence forces them to fill the void, and the more they talk, the more they reveal their intentions, their fears, their weaknesses. You don't need to interrogate them. They will hand you the keys to their mind just to escape the uncomfortable space you've created. Rule 16. Be unpredictable, but only when it matters. Machiavelli would not be erratic, but he would be strategically unreliable. Predictability is a weakness. If they know how you'll react, they can provoke you at will. If they know you'll always take the high road, they'll walk all over you. But what if sometimes you forgive, and other times you disappear? Sometimes you engage, and other times you let them drown in their own chaos. They will begin to fear you, not because you're aggressive, but because you are unreadable. Fear is born from uncertainty. The person they can't predict is the person they can't prepare for. Rule 17. Make your presence felt even in your absence. True psychological dominance isn't about always being there. It's about making them feel your impact when you are not. How? By becoming their standard. their reference point. You become the shadow in every decision they make. They second-guess themselves, wondering, what would he have done? They can't fully trust others because they remember how precise your judgment was. This isn't personal branding, it's psychological imprinting. When you are gone, they don't forget you. They compare everyone else to you. Rule 18. Never threaten. Let fear do the work. Threats create resistance. Machiavelli never had to say, "I will destroy you." He simply let others wonder if he might. That quiet internal pressure is far more potent than any open declaration. You don't say, "I could expose you." You just pause for a beat too long when they lie and watch them squirm. You don't say, "You're done." You simply remove yourself from their world and let them spiral into a panic, wondering what you're plotting in the shadows. Fear based on imagination is infinitely more powerful than fear based on information. Rule 19. Delay your revenge until it is devastating. Machiavelli didn't believe in quick retaliation. He believed in watching, waiting, and letting an offense fester until the timing was perfect. As he advised, injuries should be inflicted all at once so that their taste is felt less. Benefits should be granted little by little. When someone wronged him, he wouldn't react. He'd study them. He'd let them relax into a false sense of security. And then one day, when they least expected it, he would move. Clean, calculated, absolute. Revenge isn't about emotion. It's about control. When you delay your opponent, lives in a state of quiet paranoia. That fear does more damage than any outburst ever could. Rule 20. Become a system, not a man. Machiavelli never wanted to be liked. He wanted to be essential. He wouldn't just be a person. He would be the very structure they operate within. Train others to think like you. Make yourself vital to systems no one else fully understands. Embed your logic into decisions that echo long after you're gone. That way, even if they want to remove you, they can't function without you. This is how legacies are formed. You are not just feared while you are present. You are embedded in the systems they can never delete. Rule 21. Make them afraid to even speak your name. The final form of power isn't recognition. It's haunting. Machiavelli would become the person people only reference indirectly. You know who I'm talking about. We can't make that move. Remember what happened last time. They don't say your name because even saying it feels like invoking a power too big to handle. You don't trend. You linger. You don't win arguments. You change the atmosphere of the room. If Machiavelli were alive today, he wouldn't be shouting online for attention. He'd be hidden deep within the structures of power, shaping the world with a smile and with silence. He would be the voice in your own head whispering, "Don't respond. Don't reveal. Let them speak first. And most importantly, don't chase respect. Position yourself so they can't breathe without giving it to you. That's how you win. Not with fame, not with noise, but with a legacy of power they can never, ever stop."